Alright, Shalom, I praise to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles, salute to you brothers teaching the word in sincerity and in truth. Now there's a couple of articles coming out in regards to strikes and stuff like that are happening. You got some going on next week, and you got some going on all throughout this year. Now, obviously what this video is going to be touching on is planned chaos. And I'm going to touch on this more in some other videos. The fact that they're locking down the grid, man. You can clearly see that they're locking down the grid. Let me bring your attention to this map. Let's go down. Pop-up keeps coming up. So, here you got an image, right, of the UK. All right, so, now, what we're seeing happening is flight chaos, fuel chaos, and train chaos. So that eliminates all your travel. You know, you can't board planes, so you can't leave the country because it's all up in chaos. Then you can't. People are driving less because there's fuel chaos, and then you got these strikes taking place in all different forms of, because you know the old travel thing. It might be through pay rise, it might be through fuel, it might be through all sorts of stuff. There's many different reasons people are protesting. Some people are mad that there's a lack of staff, so that's getting them upset. There's all sorts going on here. But when you look at the bigger picture of this is locking down the country. And this is where they're trying to, this is what they're going for. Because they want to be able to control that grid and have it where you can't do anything, you can't go nowhere. Reset everything, put everyone on the same level, control everyone, and have it to where, you know, people pretty much can't go anywhere. Now, a good show that shows you that is Justin Timberlake, In Time. It shows you that. All right. So like I said, I'm gonna do a video on this, another video, but alright, so what I'm gonna do, let me go here. 2 Ezra 15 and 17. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that's what they're doing. They're locking down that grid. That's why you got flight chaos. Hundreds and hundreds of flights being cancelled. People stranded. And we know situations. You know, people that need medical treatment. The medical staff, whether it be dentists, nurses, and stuff like that. There's, you know, some people went on holiday over that Jubilee stuff, and they extended. The Jubilee was supposed to be a week before that, but they moved it because you had a bank holiday, so they moved it so they could have a longer, more time, which you don't usually do that. So a lot of people said they were going to go on holiday, and what happened? They went on holiday, and they got stranded out there. So people were left in agony because the medical people they've left them with half a job. And this is what's going on out here. Okay, how's it gonna, now they're doing strikes. They put 3 days down, but it's more than 3 days because the whole ticket buying thing for next week is all down. And you know they usually do that. And if you ever travel on these trains, they'll say one thing, but then the whole grid will just go down for travel. So if you want to travel, I'd say from now they're gonna start. There's gonna be cancellations, and it's been going on. a lot of cancellations have been going on anyway. Um, but in terms of the flight chaos, we did a video on that. They were throwing out vouchers and refunds for people because people are getting stranded. No one can go anywhere. So this second Ezra 15 and 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So this is the shutting down of the grid. And they say that these cities are going to become death grids, death zones. And basically you're not going to be able to get out of them. And that's why all this is happening. So let's read some of this information here. It says, other action being threatened. 115,000 Royal Mail workers could walk out over fire and rehire scheme. So that's your parcels being delivered. So if that's you trying to get supplies, or you're trying to order food, or you're trying to order whatever, all of a sudden that grid goes down and you can't even order stuff. So this is what's going on here. It says 40,000 BT workers could walk out in route over pay. That's your phone lines, your internet services. Now you got something called EMP attacks. You got something called the blackouts, the grid, and and the truth be told, this stuff is happening. It's gonna happen. And what's going on here is you're slowly seeing it. It's happening. Lockdowns, shutdowns of everything, and you're stuck. So you gotta get prepared, man, because this is happening. 1.4 million local government workers could strike in row over pay rises. It's a lot. No, it says Tube, June 21st, 11,000 London Underground workers walk out. That's in a couple of days. So how are people going to get to work? Now their lines are going to be affected all over the UK for these different rail companies and stuff like that. How's that going to affect everything? It's even got airports, but you got this covering it. It says check-in and ground staff at Heathrow Airport will strike also. I can't see what it says because you got the picture there. Mail Online can lay bare the strikes being planned to wreck the summer starting the end of June. This is what they're saying is going to happen. Check this. The TSSA union has warned a yes vote could allow for strike action to take place ahead of the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, which runs from July the 28th to August the 8th. Now, you've even got this Glastonbury concert that's going to be taking place, and for the Glastonbury thing now, I think that's on when the strikes are happening. So things are going to be affected here. Mike Lynch, who enjoys 125,000 a year in pay and benefits as chief of the Hard Left Rail, Maritime and Transport Union, dismissed public anger over plans for 50,000 rail. Plans for fucking pop-ups, man. Plans for 50,000 rail workers across the country to strike on June the 21st, 23rd and 25th, the largest walkout since 1989. And you got to understand that if they strike on June the 21st, it's not just going to magically start running the next day and then, no, it's going to be fucked that whole week. And then we're talking about into June, July, August. And how do you know if you go if you go and if you ever travel on trains, you look at the apps right now. There's a they've locked the ticket buying off for the whole week. So why have they done that if it's just going to be in a couple of days? So you gotta get yourself prepared, man. Matter of fact, let me get a quick scripture on that. You gotta know what's going on. The devil's telling you what's gonna happen. So don't put yourself to sleep, okay? Ephesians 5:14. Wherefore he saith, awake thou that sleepest, arise from the dead, and Yahweh shall shine, shall give thee light. Right, so we woke up out of that asleep state. It says, see then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. Okay? So we don't walk around as fools, we walk around as wise. We can see what the hell's going on out here. Okay? And this is all part of it, these prophecies, man. These prophecies are all part of what we're saying. Okay? And that's part of them locking down this grid, locking you down in one place. You can't do anything, you can't go anywhere. And that's that's what the plans are. And there's more information on this. Is just really scratching the surface with it here. Because when you pile in the laws of the land that they've changed, for basically they made it illegal for you to be off the grid. You know what I'm saying? We've done something on that. We'll do something on it again. And I'm talking about over in the UK, from what bills and stuff that are out there. They can move you off any strip of land in the UK, any grass, anywhere. It says redeeming the time because the days are evil. All right. And it says, wherefore be not unwise, but be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is. The will of the Lord is these prophecies. So there's nothing that's going to stop these prophecies from taking place. Okay? And it goes into more. 2 Corinthians 15:19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbour, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, because of lack of bread and for great tribulation. So when you're locked in these deaf cities, there's people are fighting over the loaves of bread, over whatever, because no one's allowed. There's no flow of anything going on. These delivery men are on strike. Everyone's locked down. They can't. The fuel prices are up. You can't leave the town. What the hell do you think is gonna happen? Mike Whelan, General Secretary of Drivers Union, Aslif, who announced strikes to coincide with the existing plans from the RMT union, will bring the UK to a standstill on summer. So it's coming from the top. It's coming from the top. And that's the way I look at it. If you're working in one of these jobs, and then you just you find that, what, they're doing a protest in my job for I can get more money, then everyone's just gonna just jump on the fucking bandwagon. Because a lot of these protests that happen come from the top anyway. Just like you had your eco protests. What was that one that you just had one just in Scotland? COP26. These are protests that come from the top. Okay. Like you got that Extinction Rebellion. That movement set up. You always got to look at who's at the top of the movements. These big governmental, how do I say, well, they're not governmental, but these major movements, they'll have a symbol, but it's called what would you say, like Hegelian dialectic and stuff like that. controlling both sides. Because if you know there's going to be rebels, then if you can control the direction the rebels are, what they're doing, then it can help it steer it into your direction of what you want. Now, there's a related article on it. Summer will be wrecked. Fury as hard left rail unions threaten chaos in biggest walkout since 1989 with 50,000 staff paralyzing network and ruining plans for hundreds of thousands attending gigs and festivals. So I'm going to click that in a minute. So they're saying it's going to shut down Britain's railway networks and tubes. So how are people going to? How are people going to see? This is what you got to understand. Everything that happens, they're bringing this grid to a halt, and it's all part of that control. There's food chaos. There's food chaos. There's travel chaos. There's delivery chaos. It's going to be medieval out here. It's going to be medieval. But their whole point is to destroy the old grid to build a new so they can control people. So if basically they can Hunger Game your ass, they want to chip everybody with a mark of the beast. And basically that's the only way you're going to eat in their eyes if you bow down to these warlocks. That's where they're trying to get it at, but they got to destroy everything to get it like that. The only way you're going to eat is if you bow down to these warlocks. They want to play the most high. They're trying to, they're devils, but they're trying to, be like, above and beyond. But that's the pride, the pride of that in thy heart deceived them that dwelleth in the clefts of the rock. So we know about all of that. I'm gonna read more. So I'm reading through this. Britain's unions have vowed to bring the country to a standstill in summer of discontent. So they're calling it the summer of discontent. Check this wording. The summer of discontent. And I got another video to do with regards to these borders and stuff like that. And you're not, if you're in England, you ain't gonna be able to go Scotland. If you're in Scotland, you ain't gonna be able to go England. It's all gonna be locked off. Right now they're not separate, but they're pushing for that separation, and they're gonna do that. You ain't gonna be able to go. It's gonna be locked off. Military, border patrols. They're already pushing for that. Nicola Sturgeon just come out pushing for that. That's what she just come out pushing for heavy right now. So that's what's going to be going down. And there was a movie that showed you that, and a pre-apocalyptic movie, which I'll do that, Lord, within the next show, because they're going to have safe zones, and people are going to be like, well, you know what? I want to get to this government safe zone, man. When they with this outbreaks and this chaos, so that's what they want. They want people to bow to this NWO, to this New World Order, through desperation, through chaos, through savage stuff happening out here. And it's happening right now. It's happening. I don't think this thing can happen in 5 years, man. This is happening. This ain't no 5 years. We're talking about. We're looking at this year. So you gotta get that mind on right, man. Britain's unions have vowed to bring the country to a standstill in a summer of discontent. Not since the 1926 general strike with railway and tube workers said to be bolstered by 155,000 comrades at airports, Royal Mail and BT. So that's your packages, your parcels, your airport. It's all shutting down. You can't even. You want to be able to get packages. You've ordered some biscuits or something, or well, your biscuits ain't turning up. More than 1 million council workers and teachers could strike in autumn. See, they're bringing everything to a halt. You had the first lockdown that had did its job on that. Now you got this second one, and they're doing it in this way. So they got all these dates just flying around. You know, I'm not going to read all it. Look, the 28th, 29th, 13th of July, 14th, 23rd of June, 26th of June. They got all these dates flying around. But they're telling you it's going to be all over these periods of time. So anyway, it's a pretty big article in there. Fund public transport. Don't let London's transport go into reverse. I don't know what the hell's going on here. It's the way you just fucking shit. This stuff is a joke. Where's the article gone, man? Baby, let me wait for it to come up. It's just bugged out. Don't think I'll have another way of getting that back up. Let's see. It's bugging out. Alright, well, it's bugging out, so I'm gonna just gonna have to leave it there. Because it was a link anyway. So anyway, that's pretty much what's going on. The whole thing's just bugging out, man. It's ridiculous. Okay. No, it's not back. Let's go back. Come on, man. What the fuck? Man. Anyway. So let me hit these scriptures, man. It's all bugging out. You know, I might do, because I don't like using that other browser for certain reasons. What I might do here, let me put something in here. So, let's see what we get. So breaking news, 4 minutes, signaller strike to halt 90% of ScotRail train services. And I know that train, but these are like local ones for in Scotland that take you around Scotland. So that's going to be all. And how much did it say? It said 95%. That's breaking news now, 3 minutes ago here. Okay. So there's going to be a UK. So basically you ain't traveling around. So we're going to have to see what happens, how things go. You know, I'm up out here in Scotland, so I'm with the brothers every week. I don't, you know, I mean, you know, I don't go London anymore, so I'll be like, you know, in another part of England, but we'll have to see what we're gonna do because everything's changing. So we're gonna, you know, we'll have to see if we'll, if I'll be up out here or if I'll do something somewhere else. You know, it says Well, it's a short one. It's a short one. Uh, so everything's coming to a halt here. One shit. Let me. So all over the country, basically everything's gonna be shut off. Um, so this is what's going down. See, they've got a lot of articles on this, and they're just teens admit cutting hole inside of lorry on motorway to still chewing on. People are losing the plot out here, man. This is what we're saying. Everything is. You know, let me get another quick scripture out on this. Uh, 2nd Ezra 16:18, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? All out chaos is ready to ensue. So, that's it. Uh, and it's going to be affecting everything. Everything's going to be affected. Italian strike leads to more chaos in the UK. Let's see what that is. A strike called by Italian air traffic controllers has led to more chaos in the UK. Thousands of passengers were left stranded at British hubs after Ryanair, EasyJet, British Airways, and Jet2 cancelled dozens of flights from the UK to Italy. So this is what we're showing you. This whole grid's getting shut down, whether it's in the skies, whether it's in and your Eurostars, your trains. You know, it's like we read, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. EasyJet axed 20 flights from Gatwick, telling passengers it was doing all possible to minimize any disruption that may occur as a result of the strike action, while BA was forced to cancel around 14 flights between London and Milan. Italy was not the only destination that saw hundreds of UK flights cancelled, as BA overall cancelled 122 short-haul routes, while EasyJet's total count amounted to 60. So when you go into this, man, you're gonna find out they're gonna be starving people out in these grids. That's why it says that people shall be spoiling each other's houses for the lack of bread. So you're gonna, spirit, however the spirit does it, however what happens, the spirit's gonna do what it's gonna do. You might end up, pilgrim, moving around, whatever. Um, and they're trying to stop that pilgrim spirit, especially over here in the UK. Like I said, uh, they're targeting certain individuals that have got that nomadic lifestyle, and they're stopping them. We're trying to get them into houses so they can stay put. Okay. Check this one. Rail strikes and flight cancellations. Are UK travellers headed for a summer of misery? Of misery. We just read mornings. Look at this Jake. He's fucked. For travellers, the past fortnight has brought a tidal wave of bad news, and this is what we're trying to say. He said, resuming the times because the days are evil. That's what we're telling you. And this article's putting it all into one. Cancelled flights, proposed rail strikes, record-breaking petrol prices have thrown people's plans into disarray. And now the peak of summer holiday season after the long school break are hovering on the horizon. After more than 2 years of the 91 Mad Dog restrictions, this should be a summer of fun. But now we are heading into a summer of misery. Okay, so there you got all the stuff that they're going into, man. One dude, he was saying that they was in the airport and all you could hear was kids crying. It's everywhere. Adults too. But does the scripture say that this is the time when the Lord will begin to visit and judge the world which he made? Okay. Events during the strike, Glastonbury, that big festival. Third test, it was a cricket or something. I don't think it's rugby, I think it's cricket. I'm like, Ed Sheeran. So all these things, so there's scriptures on that. They're gonna want mirth, but they're not gonna get it. We go into these scriptures every week, Isaiah 24 and stuff like that. So, and then you got other things these outbreaks are talking about. So if you thought that um saying the cost of filling an average family car in the UK hit £100 to fill the tank. They're locking, even talking about rented cars. They're locking down this grid. They're locking down this grid, man. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. We're in those times, man.